The Global Multi-Strategy Bond Fund is probably our flagship fixed income vehicle under the Legg Mason range. The objective of this strategy is in line with a total return type of strategy, and what we mean by that is it targets to get a positive income and a positive capital gain over an investment cycle. Now, how we achieve it through the global multi-strategy is effectively through sector rotation through global fixed income, and that effectively means that we can invest in from the lower risk bucket, global governments, for example, all the way to emerging markets. It will include asset classes such as high yield, investment grade, emerging markets, and when we talk about emerging markets, we're actually talking about those three subsectors of emerging markets as well, being corporates, local currency, as well as hard currency. So it ranges from the emerging market world all the way down to government securities. Another important thing with the global multi-strategy on how it's managed is certainly through active interest rate management. And to us, we think that's key. What we mean by that is when we want to get defensive insofar as we think maybe inflation is going to pick up or we're concerned that yields are going to back up, we can actually take the duration of this strategy right down to virtually zero. On the flip side of that, we can actually increase duration when we're very, very positive insofar as the direction of government bonds, i.e. we think that there'll be a capital appreciation attached to having interest rate exposure. So to offer a total return vehicle, sector rotation is clearly very key and one of the objectives or the key ways of which we offer our returns or gain our returns, but also that active interest rate management is key to offering positive returns, particularly in an interest rate cycle that can change. The Global Multi-Strategy Fund has actually been in existence since 1996, and interestingly enough, it has had a very stable management team. The gentleman who manages it now, Ian Edmonds, was involved back in the inception of the strategy back in 1996. But one of the beauties of the Global Multi-Strategy Fund is it does incorporate all the investment professionals effectively in Western. Reason being, because it's so sophisticated in its way that its sector rotates, you can't have one individual that's responsible for all the issue selection, all the sector rotation attributes of this portfolio. So there are different investment professionals that are responsible for different parts of the global multi-strategy. For example, in emerging markets, the head of emerging markets is a gentleman called Keith Gardner. He would be responsible for the issue selection within the emerging markets sector of the portfolio. Just like that, in high yield, Mike Buchanan is head of the high yield team. Once we decide to allocate a portion of the global multi-strategy portfolio to high yield, Mike Buchanan is then responsible for the issue selection within high yield. So it's really marrying up the total experience of the global multi-strategy or the Western team into one portfolio. We see the Global Multi-Strategy Fund as a total return type of vehicle, and what we mean by that is you can expect an income component of your return as well as a capital gain component of your return. Both are very important in generating that total positive performance. With a total return type of vehicle, it's important to be able to access many different fixed income vehicles. For example, not just sticking to one regional sector opens up a world of opportunities. So to be able to offer a total return, we think it's important to have a global portfolio which can rotate not only through different fixed income sectors, but also regionally, because some regions do offer low correlations, if you like, to others. So that globality, as well as the ability to rotate through different sectors, is key when you're offering a total return portfolio. We expect the sources of return for the Global Multi-Strategy Fund to come from multiple different areas. First of all, that sector rotation capability, or that sector rotation, is very important for total return, or the return for this strategy. Also, issue selection within each sector is clearly very important, but also interest rate management is important, so managing your exposure to interest rates. What is another source of alpha is certainly currency management. Now, it's only a small portion of our total return, if you like, under global multi-sector, but we think it's important to have the ability to use currency, albeit a small magnitude, to not only generate alpha, i.e. positioning ourselves in currencies that we think will appreciate, but also managing risk. And a classic example of that is having the ability to rotate into the yen. When things get scary maybe in fixed income markets, in the corporate market, yen tends to be negatively correlated to corporates. So the ability to position yourself in a currency that can actually take down the volatility of your total portfolio, only in a marginal way, we think adds value to the total strategy. The Global Multi-Strategy Fund, the core is actually managed in US dollars, but you actually have the ability to invest in our hedged share classes as well. So we have hedged share classes for most of the major currencies in the world. I think the three key features of the Global Multi-Strategy Fund is certainly the ability to sector rotate. We think that's very important in generating total returns. We also think interest rate management is clearly important at this point. And we also think it's important to have a team that is extremely experienced, have specialist skills in the areas that we're investing, and also have a very long track record in managing these asset classes. So I think that's key to offer a strong fixed income vehicle these days.